Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast from your host Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland of your glorious 1v1 on Nexus. In the West, it is VonIvan fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Taking on the role here of the 3rd Armour Division, the Mechanized, Airborne, and Heavy Cavalry in the East, it is Delirious. Fighting for the Oberkommand West, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 1 and 16th Panzer Division Windhund with elite armoured featuring 221s, emergency repairs, Panzer Commander, heat shells, and the Storm Tiger. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons, boys. Without them and their valuable support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So a big thanks to all those people who keep the Propagandacast going. And if other people wish to join these heroic and wonderful ranks, they can pledge on Patreon themselves, or they can donate via PayPal. Links are in the description. And if you're in the market for pre-ordering companies free, you can consider doing so by the link in the comments. Use the code STUG3G, which case I get a 15% cut of sales, so you can both get the game and support me at the same time. It's brilliant. And also comment, like, share, subscribe, talk about the video. So, we got here VonIvan, who with heavy cavalry featuring rifleman defensive structures, off-map smoke barrages, Rangers, combined arms, and the M26 Pershing heavy tank. Double life start here versus double full screen. Fast track infantry, of course, means likely a 2-2-1 here being rushed up versus VonIvan, and the Americans in the early game can be a bit vulnerable to the 2-2-1 there, as they don't have any way of great snaring it up, and it has pretty good anti-infantry performance while also being fairly mobile. So against the Americans, it can definitely be a nasty commander there. And so if you're an American player and you notice the elite armor there in the matchup, do keep that in the opponent's commander lineup, as what I was meant to say there. Do keep that in mind. They might try and hit you with a fast 2-1. They don't all do it, but some do it. And there you go. That is in fact what Delirious is doing. So he's off to the races there. Up north, the Delirious strikes there at VonIvan's northern flank there. He's also got forces moving elsewhere. No sandbags yet here though for VonIvan. Freedom and democracy. Interesting enough, Delirious is going straight for the victory point, ignoring the fuel point for now. Truck just, of course, sitting about here for Delirious. Sturm Pioneer heading southwards there. 2-2-1, almost done. VonIvan likely his force here for something a bit more serious. He could have sent in a squad one at a time, but he probably at this point figures he just needs more raw force here versus Delirious, that way gain an advantage, and so just standing about there is better than just frittering away the infantry in a pointless engagement, or at least not a sufficient engagement, sending in 2 squads and immediately just, in this case, dropping their Ludwig like he's a sack of potatoes from a Berlin, grocery store. There we go, routed. So again, waiting about there, allowed for now in this case to just quickly get the upper hand in the centre, rushing in there. Of course, they didn't do it here as well because, the fuel is a bit more important than the centre victory point. We got the 2-1 out here for Delirious and the 1 and 16th Panzer Division Windhund. Armoured car, they're rolling head straight at the armies. Ralph squad in the centre here, definite tough spot. And of course, at the same time for VonIvan, this provides him with a crucial piece of information that his opponent has gone for elite armoured because there is no other German commander that features the 2-1. Much to the relief, I imagine, of most American players. No sandbags there, all here, interesting enough. He's gone for commander with it, but so far VonIvan is showing no interest in it. We got mines here though from Delirious, the Schützenmines fine field sick. 2-1 striking the Ralph squad up here by the northern point. Car fight being hit here by Delirious. Tech on the way there for VonIvan, Lieutenant there. I would be not too surprised if it goes for the bazooka right when the Lieutenant helped deal with that 2-1. More troops pouring into north here for Delirious and the 116th Panzer Division Windhund. Lieutenant has arrived there for VonIvan, freedom and democracy. Up north here, Ralph's squad though being slowly worn down here as Delirious keeps up the assault here. Armour car, of course, taking a distance, and we got grenades here to further mess up their things for VonIvan. Got a car bomber being hit in the south. Thumbs up to VonIvan. Does take advantage of Delirious' northern push to sort of sneak around there. Clever play there by VonIvan. But no bazooka to the Lieutenant. That is actually a bit of a surprise. I figured go for it to help deal with the 2-1, but I guess VonIvan, I forgot about it. I actually has other plans with his munitions here against Delirious. Of course, which of these two it is, it's much harder to say. Still, Delirious, I think, is getting a bit of good fuel lead here for VonIvan. The VonIvan, again, by heading the southern company, has actually helped slow that down a bit. There's some young a bit in the background. The skirmishing around the carve point. Troop enforcing. The echelons reinforcing. Got troops heading south at sea for VonIvan. Up north, Valve squad here being slowed surrounded here by Delirious' forces. Fulton advancing here for the glory of Deutschland Riflemen are being slowed around here. VonIvan, I think, can't keep up this engagement for much longer. And there go retreats. Lieutenant charging at now the Volksgrenadiers here. Perhaps that's actually why he waited to retreat there, so he could get the upper hand here up close with the Lieutenant and his Thompson. But there you go. Delirious with the incendiary hand grenade there, or Brandhandgranate. Though, in reality, I don't think it was a grenade the Germans used a lot, because here's the thing. The Germans make Molotovs of their own. In fact, they straight up converted liquor factories to producing their own Molotovs. So, I don't really know why they keep making incendiary grenades when they just, make Molotovs. 50 cal there for VonIvan. Nope, I was not. I think only the Germans did. I believe the Finnish also basically converted entire liquor factories to producing Molotovs. In fact, I think most of the armies kind of did it there. Up north here, that's the Volksgrenadiers. And 50 cal there, almost done here for VonIvan. Got a mechanized command post upgrade on the way as well for the platoon command post. At least managed to slow down here. Delirious fueling coming in the south. MD-34 there. On the way to north, the rear echelons are about to be sent to the great rear echelon in the sky as they get exterminated there by Delirious Volksgrenadiers. Sturm Pioneer flanking the Ralph squad here, down to 1/3 health total there. VonIvan makes, I think, the prudent judgment of just retreating the men here rather than risking them getting wiped out. Delirious there with a 223 upgrade to his 221. Also, they're suppressed. 50 cal compiling suppressor fire roll. One of 3 major upgrades to the 221 series. You had the 221, the 222, the 223, and then you had sort of an unofficial version, but still apparently fairly common, where they upgraded it with a 2.8 centimeter gun, though more turned into, say, a wheeled assault gun, I believe, with that. Little fun fact, though. Two squad here with the Maschinengewehr 34, northern port seized, and we got smoke bit deployed here by VonIvan, plus Rangers called in. Guessing we're going to be looking at some Thompsons here for VonIvan. As opposed to just like he bucked the trend there with the Lieutenant's bazooka, he could of course decide he has other plans with his Rangers. We'll have to see, of course, what VonIvan there is scheming. I'd also not be surprised if we see an ambulance soon here for VonIvan, but we'll of course have to see if that is actually what VonIvan is dreaming about. 2 to 3 sitting up here around the base. No upgrades yet for his Rangers. None whatsoever. Bit of a surprise, as the Thompson upgrade I've personally found is quite good, but clearly VonIvan must have other plans. Oh, never mind. There we go. Thompson's on the way there. A significant boost of firepower there, plus a Stuart light tank for VonIvan. Freedom, democracy, corporate interests. Tank for the Germans here. Thompson's been researched. I think soon he might have been able to wipe the Volksgrenadiers seed because they probably would have been ready in time, but oh well. Small detail. Lieutenant here is the Volksgrenadiers close to the centre. We got the machine gun heading southwards here. 5th cal though ready to receive any Germans head on. Turn here, push back. Those Sturmgewehrs on the way there for Delirious' infantry. North here, Rangers control the line there against assault rifle wielding Volksgrenadiers, but the Thompsons are almost ready in return here, at which point Evergoing got a grenade there. Volksgrenadiers pushed out into the open. Stood almost on there for VonIvan. Delirious striking out in the south here. Trotting away, there'll be a Schwerer Panzer Hauptquartier. 5th cal there, quickly realizing he has to get out of there. As Delirious attack from both sides. VonIvan's 5th cal is just completely out of position there and absolutely cannot be salvaged in that state. Northern points being grabbed here. Stuart light tank those out. And that's going to be a bit of a headache here for Delirious because he's got no anti-tank weapons. Like, at most he's got some mines and Panzerfausts. But certainly can help slow down the Stuart. But unless, like, VonIvan really messes up, they should not be sufficient to take out his light tank. Of course, never say never, but, you know, on average, no. Also being flanked with the Stuart light tank, the M5A1. Very straight over the flank of the Falkers, landing a few decent hits there into their midst. A cannon for there on the way for Delirious. Schwerer punted quarters there on the southern carve point. Up north there, 2 to 3 leading the assault, and there you go. VonIvan hits one of Delirious' many Schützenmine. You also got a mine there by VonIvan on the carve point. So you will need to swiftly fix up the Stuart. Of course, do so in a safe position, but the crew doesn't risk getting murdered by Delirious, and then the tank seized by the Germans. Ambulance out there for VonIvan, freedom and democracy. Schwerer punted quarters almost done. We've got mines in the car point here. Delirious certainly has been fairly thorough mining through the center of the map here. And there you go! Exactly what I said might happen is he moves up and practically murders the crew there. forcing VonIvan to use someone else's tank crew to at least get the tank to safety, I guess. At least the entire crew didn't get murdered. One guy is alive. He's just going to have to, like, explain to the rest of the crew what happened to the other guys. Or the new guys, as opposed to just pretend they just, you know, went off. Yeah, they went off for cigarettes. Never came back. I don't get it. Huh. 2 to 3 was the lieutenant. Sandbags here. Delirious looking to prepare a fresh defensive line here against the American assault here by VonIvan, who's also finally gone for the bazooka on the lieutenant. Guess he decided, you know, probably needs a bazooka after all. Britain South, they catching a Sturmpioneer. Do the Sturmpioneer catch them? Do get a cooked up panel grenade there. 2 to 3 rushing in. Rifle squad nearby. Probably won't be enough to get off the anti-tank rifle grenade there. Rangers, they're taking too much damage. Line here, Delirious infantry close in. Up north, the assault goes in here against a weak defensive position there. Might be able to buy some time. In the south here, the VonIvan's men are being decimated. And there you go, full wipe here on VonIvan. A rifle squad absolutely exterminated there by Delirious and the 1 and 16th Panzer Division up north. The assault continues here against Delirious, positioned by the field point here. Clearly a bit stronger there than initially assumed. Fulton's flanking from the southeast, rushing in though. Probably going to go for that veterinary fleet 223. 14 kills. It's definitely been a great investment for Delirious, not just in terms of course resources, but also, you know, just in applying harm here to VonIvan. Also flanking up behind the Stuart light tank here, like kind of like laying up for something else on the flank. At the same time, got a sneaky about here, looking to catch some units on retreat here. Devious play by Delirious, but definitely very smart. Thumbs up to that. In fact, there's a chance he wipes the 50 cal here, right outside of VonIvan's space. Might be able to grab it then, but no. VonIvan has some impressive luck there, despite an otherwise good setup there by Delirious. In fact, we even get a wipe here on Delirious now. VonIvan turn the tables on his Germanic opponent. Thumbs up there. Mines as well. A lot of action. Got the 2 to 3 moving up again. Once more setting up here. No orbital sudden here for Delirious. Interestingly enough, kind of figured that honestly, but I guess Delirious has other plans. Mines here. Sturmpioneer routed. Rangers going here for deep flank here. Moving straight up to the center here. At least VonIvan's kind of won, but still, it's come at a pretty high cost. And of course, crucially, Delirious can soon hit VonIvan here with a Panzer IV, and VonIvan's got like a bazooka to stop said Panzer IV. So, Captain, what do you got for stopping the German assault? Well, I've got a bazooka. A bazooka, not multiple. No, sir, just one. God damn it. I told you to pay. Well, you know, I just didn't expect the Germans to be so ready fast. Yeah, god damn it, Captain. God damn it. You make the Florida National Guard look competent. Is the Florida National Guard? I think so. Anyways, MD-5 was the 5th cal there. Around the center here with the Ranger Squad. We got another Ranger Squad there for VonIvan. At this point, though, he may have to go for bazookas on them, because otherwise, again, that Panzer IV is absolutely going to stomp on him. At least that way, he'll be able to tell the general that he's got more than one bazooka. 2 to 3, there's the 5th cal here. Ralph goes the Volksgrenadiers here, fixing up the Stuart light tank. Bang back the munitions car upon there. Panzer IV almost ready here for VonIvan, and there we go. We do get Bazooka Rangers here for VonIvan, taking a page out of Pax Ajax book, or perhaps a book out of Pax Ajax library. Who knows? Either way, though. Going for Bazooka Rangers there. Obviously, not like Pax Ajax and we're going to use them, but he's definitely, like, I think, one of the more consistent users of Bazooka Rangers. This is probably why I say him like that. Sandbags in the center here. VonIvan, though, is definitely a stubborn play. He has managed to turn things back against here. Delirious despite another rough early game. Of course, the Panzer IV will be a challenge, but again, he does have the Bazooka Rangers, and they do apply some rather significant pressure on the Panzer IV, as long as he doesn't do anything silly with them. Turn they're taking an asset from the Panzer IV. Northeast here, that's the Volksgrenadiers. And for Norfolk's here. Bazooka team arriving here, Panzer IV's flank. Definitely been exposed, of course. In actuality, the armoured sides goes to the Panzer IV, while initially intended for stopping anti-tank rifle fire. turn out to be also fairly effective against bazooka fire and other similar weaponry like that. Though they would later switch over to wire mesh once they realized, no one's using anti-tank rifles anymore, and they could just go for something lighter that also used less, material to still provide protection against bazooka fire. So, little fun fact on that account. Little fun fact. I know it's Panzer going for the Ranger squad here. Grenade here, attempting to wipe them up. Doesn't quite land the shot there though. Bazooka fire there, and the Panzer IV's having some impact here. Bounce there. Fortunate for Delirious Panzerkampfwagen. South here, machining gewehr holding up there for Delirious. Bazooka fire in the Panther IV. Another penetrating hit there, causing further harm here to Delirious Panzerkampfwagen 4 as für Jod. Straight at the Rangers though, without the bazookas of course, but with Thompsons. The bazooka team though continues their pursuit of the Kraut Panzer. So VonIvan could start taking up here soon. I think more crucially, you should definitely consider achieving the Rangers before Delirious exterminates them. Because given the opportunity, I'm fairly certain Delirious would love to see those Rangers go away, so he doesn't have to worry too much about this Panzer IV there. Getting knocked out by a bunch of bazooka-toting American commandos. Orbitals on southwards here for Delirious. Got VonIvan lining up for another flank of his own here to the southern resource points. We do have a machine gun. North here, push forwards for Deutschland. We got one Stuart light tank here waiting for Delirious attacking infantry. Firing back with machine guns and main gun. Got the Panther IV Mollier rushing in, 4 kills. Half H veterans are on their Stuart light tank. Definitely in a bit of an outgun scenario. And we got the Leitinfanterie Schutz 18 here on the way for Delirious in the south of the assault goes through here. And the MU-54 in fact gets wiped out here by VonIvan's flank. Excellent setup there. Thumbs up and leaves Delirious bit exposed actually, as suddenly he's short a machine gun, and VonIvan now has 2 machine guns. This is a great haul there for VonIvan. That said, of course, Delirious still enjoys the tank advantage, and in fact will likely be able to expand upon it fairly easily compared to VonIvan. So it's obviously not all beer and skittles here for VonIvan, but no, it's better than nothing. That's set in the south here though. Delirious here turns the tips on VonIvan and flanks the MG-34 with his orbital line there. Go get Baldeladnung. That's it. The throw might just be good enough to wipe the machine gun and grab it back for the Reich. Can Delirious get the machine gun wiped here, or will VonIvan's luck once more pull through? Like a greasy badger and a trash heap. I don't know. Looks like he came through though. Panther avoiding southwards there. Troop reinforcing healing. Another orbital squad here for Delirious, adding more elite. No, cancels it just right before they're probably thinking he's going to just go for another Panther IV, which, well, actually makes sense. So again, he would benefit from more infantry, but he would also benefit from another Panther IV. They're both viable options there to consider. There you go, 2nd Panzerkampfwagen 4 as von Jort there for Delirious. VonIvan there's got his mid-run, continue to go for Sherman or Jackson. And VonIvan, despite everything, he's actually got fairly good map control now versus Delirious. Oh, he is certainly a bit behind in victory points. Smoke being deployed here around the center by Delirious. Perhaps in anticipation of an attack he's ready to make. He's got 2 squads of Volkskunde moving in there. 5th Cavalry moved right at the edge of the smoke there, kind of negating it. MD-34 was the orbital which failed to wipe the MD-34. There you go, quick blend cover grenade there, thumbs up to Delirious. Lieutenant actually moves through it before realizing, hang on, that's toxic. Oh, God damn it. Marlboro with menthol. I hate that. Sir, I don't think it's menthol Marlboro. Really? Tastes just the same. Anyway, Sturmpioneers Ralph squad ground the bazooka here. MD-34 landing a few good hits in the Sturmpioneer here in the south. Opening out on the MD-34, they could wipe it out here for Deutschland. Or will VonIvan retreat in time this time around as well? I just get lucky. Looks like... gets a wipe there. Major moving in there for freedom. 2nd Panther ready. Looks like it's going to destroy it because it's got no troop to grab it. I mean, it'd obviously be absolutely dumb to use an Orzon squad and sacrifice that to grab the MD-34. I mean, If it's 4-man, sure, but this is 3-man, so he just risk losing it here. That would be, again, not a very good. He stood up north here, escaping narrowly the wrath of Delirious 2nd Panzer IV. As for VonIvan, we got troops reinforcing healing. No sign of armor yet. Question, of course, does VonIvan try and go for the M26 Pershing here? Or does he go for something else? Infantry caught here by the Panzer IV. Lieutenant there taking a few hits here. Machine gun destroyed. Denying it to the army cannon. Will Delirious go for mobile soldier now? I mean, he would benefit from it. Or will he try and go for something else? Bazooka firing in the Panzer IV, causing a fair amount of damage here to Delirious Panzer IV. Ralph's taking some money hits here from the Panzers. More bazooka fire there being delivered in the direction of him. Has he actually added more bazookas to this bazooka team? Feels like he hasn't. That's a bit of an oversight. Other Ranger squad going for the full tilt north here. Academy Officer and Lightning Gun in the center, actually being caught out of position here by VonIvan. This is great for VonIvan. Could become dangerous there for Delirious. In the south, Panzer IV, the flanking Ralph squad here looking to get a wipe there for the Reich. Can he manage it? And no is the answer, it would appear. Sturmpionier rushing in for the carve point, but VonIvan hits it and cuts off Delirious there from his munitions point. Nice setup there. That said, that Bazooka Ranger team needs to get out of there. I'm surprised it's actually the Bazooka team and not the Thompson team on the point there. And they drop another Bazooka there. Could grab it with the Ranger squad with the Thompsons. Since in with the Thompson upgrade, they can still add another weapon there. Of course, whether or not he does it is, of course, an entirely different discussion. Panzer IV weapons rifle squad. Major going to go for that Bazooka. We'll replace the bazooka losses now. Grab one bazooka, but not the third one. Pulsing northwards there. Okay. Perhaps he just can't counter 3 like King Arthur. No. Anyways, also being snapped a bit here in the south of the Stuart Light Tank. VonIvan would appear to be going here for the Pershing tank now here versus Delirious. Figuring he wants something bigger in terms of gunnage. Panzer in pursuit by the Bazooka Rangers. A couple of bouncers there. Very lucky there for Delirious and South Ralph's Court charging the Orbital. And the results are unsurprisingly very bloody for the Riflemen as they take intense damage here from the Orbital Darden. 13 kills there, Veteran D2. North Panzer IV backing a bit away here. He could go for Panzer IV here. Of course, he may decide he wants to go for a Panther here. Perhaps he's like starting to expect that there might be a Pershing on the way for VonIvan. And so, no, he just goes for another Panzer IV. And honestly, 3 Panzer IVs, if he had missed for heat shells as well on all of them, could probably take out that Pershing pretty swiftly. South here, 50 cal Ralph Squad pushing back the Orbital Darden. Stuart Light Tank good to go. Panzer IV slowly ready. VonIvan is moments away from the Pershing heavy tank. Bit of bombardment there, and there we go. M26 Pershing heavy tank up for VonIvan. Freedom, democracy. Panzer IV almost done. Up north, his Sturmpionier as lieutenant. Major being bombarded. About to get wiped out. Northeast Sturmpionier as lieutenant. Third Panzer IV ready. Pershing straight to the Panzer IVs here. Good shot from the Pershing. Kevin's joining in the front as well here. And an artillery strike here on the light infantry gun there. Wipes the crew and almost destroys the gun. There we go. Gun destroys as well there. Great kill here by VonIvan. Even kills a few orbital Darden there. Ranger team Pershing engaging the Panzer IV, but the infantry is being absolutely demolished here by the Panzers in the turn. There we go. Formed up a small understrength platoon now here with 3 Panzer IVs. Could have tried to like dive after the Pershing perhaps, but I guess Delirious wasn't quite feeling confident then. And honestly, I don't blame him. That said, at this point with this many tanks, it really would benefit from additional Sturmpionier squad to assist in repairing his tanks faster. Plus, you know, having 2 Panzerstreak teams could also prove to be helpful. So far, we'll have to see, of course, what Delirious decides upon against VonIvan. He's got most of the victory points back in his control, though, and Deutschland's, of course. Up north of VonIvan launching another, attempting to grab northern points away there from Delirious. In the center, the Panzer IV's on the move. quite swiftly repairing in this case, using the emergent repairs, of course, for speedy repairs, but it does also mean no munitions for the heat shells, which you kind of think he wants to like save up for, so you can just, slam that Pershing down. Town. Bring up the Panther IVs. Into the Pershing's line of fire. 9mm gun there punching easily through here. We do get heat shells on one Panther IV there. Very fortunate bounce there for VonIvan. North here, 5th gun trouble with the Panther IV here. Quickly disengaging from any pursuit of the Pershing heavy tank here. Good chance here to let VonIvan's lieutenant, there we go, gets wiped out. Pershing keeps at it, needs, well, 3 echelons. Needs to get his stud crew to fix the Pershing here. Ops on there getting blasted the Pershing heavy tank up north. He's still dueling out here with the Panther IV. Almost lost it there, which would again meant he really had to go for reaction to repair his stuff here. Going here for the Panther IV's flank here. The Bazooka team Rangers, Ralph's coming, I think, to help cover up here. Pershing moving as well there. VonIvan is just pushing it while he can. Fortunately, they're taking nasty hit. Rangers, they're moving in to mop up the survivors. Pershing getting blasted with the Academy effort. Good dominating position in the center here by Delirious. Panzerkampfwagen being repaired here. Falling a bit back here up north. Will Delirious go for more Sturmpunier? And what will VonIvan do here? There we go. Pops up the stud crew to fix up the Pershing. Why do you have to fix the goddamn Pershing? Well, turns out someone glued them to the seats. What? Yeah. Apparently they pissed someone off Heart and Command. Oh. Liaison squad on the way there for VonIvan to assist the repairs. Very smart there. Can of course also be added as another Bazooka team here versus Delirious' many Panzers. We'll of course have to see what Delirious follows up with. More orbs, but again I do think some more Sturmpunier as well. Heading south approach here with the Panther IV. Looking to perhaps take out an ambulance. Do some other damage here to VonIvan. Got a good hit on the ambulance there. Basically 2 gain on the Panzerkampfwagen. Pershing being steadily repaired. Almost good to go. The Easton's there. Now fixing up as well. 2 Panther IVs again. And there you go. Finishes the Pershing. Repairs just in time. There's another unit wiped out there. Another bazooka left behind in the dirt. It covers the Volksgrenadiers. Pershing move again here for VonIvan. Buildings collapse in the south here. We got 357 on 84. Delirious continues to exert great map control. This is VonIvan. He's got a trot on the way there. The Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper. That'll mean the mechanized Regiment and a possible setup for King Tiger here versus VonIvan. Bold move there. But at the same time, he's got like a large force anyway, so this is probably like the best time he wants to like try and hold out for King Tiger. Then it's probably now he has to do it. While he still like has a good force like hold out with. Plus even just having a repair regiment there to like repair his Panther IVs is also just a really good idea for Delirious, truth be told. So I mean, even if he wasn't playing for the King Tiger, just having the mechanized regiment with the repair pioneers is a smart move. VonIvan here taking it slow there. He's not allowing himself to be rushed despite, you know, being in a somewhat unfavored environment victory point wise. Kind of engaging up north. Bazooka team still pursuing the Panzerkampfwagen. Bazooka fire there. Pershing has the Obersoldaten. Close to 82 there on it. Kevin in the center. Panther IV sending out. Close to 22. Ralph's caught was the ring. Yes, there you go. Combined arms from VonIvan. 2 thumbs up. Gives us Pershing and any from nearby the Pershing. A nice boost here. It's a bit of an overlooked ability and actually got nerfed despite no one really using it because it was actually quite a powerful one there. So either way, nice to see VonIvan employing it here. Nice to see it employed. There you go. Wipes the Obersoldaten quite a blow. There we got a 4th Panther IV for Delirious. So definitely not stalling for a King Tiger. He's just adding more Panther IVs. Both sides. A bit low on infantry though. Certainly with 4 Panther IVs, Delirious probably has the longer end up. No, he goes for a Panther. A Panzerkampfwagen 5 here versus VonIvan. Grabbing the center here, northern points though falling here to fresh German aggression as Delirious launches his men there in for the northern point. Stuart though, too slow to get a range to the Panther IV, suffers engine damage. Pershing keeps saying northwards here. Pershing shoots, almost wipes the Fulton Grenadiers. Great shot there. Panther halfway done. Halfway to 83, Panther northwards. Pershing moving in there. That full squad also need to get out of there. Halfway to 83 and the ace on that Pershing. Quickly turn around the Panther IV. Great shot there through the Panther IV's frontal armor. More Panther IVs moving in. Panther almost done. VonIvan there with the M36 Jackson almost ready to back up his Pershing against all these goddamn Kraut Panzers. And there you go, heat shield right through their Pershing, causing a bit of damage. There you go, Ranger team there helping push back the Panther IV. Second shot bounces there off the Pershing's armor. Pershing though continues to not bounce off German armor. South side Ralph squad was the Panzerkampfwagen IV here. Pershing could of course do with some fresh repairs. VonIvan with another reaction squad as the previous one did get brutally eviscerated by the Germans. The Kedmev left behind here. Stuart crew once more finding himself doing repair duties. Panther ready here for Delirious. That's a pretty large Panther force now. 3 Panther force and a Panther here. Been caught in a good push there. Good from there. Go VonIvan pops. Combine arms here, getting the boost on Pershing. Jackson and Stuart here almost got the Panther Force. Shot bounces at max range. Very fortunate there for Delirious. He keeps up the attack. The Pershing and the Jackson keep blasting again. The combine arms bonus just makes it harder here for Delirious to push in there without proper coordination. And apparently that's what is lacking. In fact, the Fulton squad almost gets annihilated here as VonIvan goes in for democracy. But once more, he does find his Pershing in need of some intense repairs. Fun fact about the Pershing, but after the war it got downgraded to medium tank, and while they would eventually try to upgrade to the M48 Patton tank, they kind of gave up on that one as well. Apparently also some issues during the war with the engine reliability of the Pershing too. Fun fact. But anyways, fixing up the Pershing here with both vehicle crew and rear echelons. Jackson of course doesn't have to do that. Got the route towards the Sturmpioneer here. Interesting enough, no attempt to grab back the other Kedmev. And I think he's realizing he's going to try and destroy it because he can't get it back now from VonIvan. Panther sitting out there. We got less than 100 points left for VonIvan versus Delirious is 357. VonIvan definitely needs to do something soon here to gain control out of the center of the South Victory Point. And certainly, with the way things are looking, trying to control the North and the South Victory Point is probably the biggest challenge. So he's probably going to have to focus on the North Center for now. And even that, obviously, is going to be a bit of a trick here. Panther heading northwards here for Delirious. Montage already sent it northwards here. Panther Force lining up for something in the south here. Delirious, though, looks like it's going to hit VonIvan's base again. Bold maneuver here, not necessarily bad. Of course, he needs to be careful not to extend his armor because, like, if VonIvan could, like, you know, defeat Delirious's numbers in detail, that would obviously be the best development for VonIvan because, again, head-on, like, all 4 tanks at the same time could be a problem, but if Delirious just leaves VonIvan with the ability to, like, just target 1 Panther for the time without the others assisting, or the Panther for that, that'd be great here. And there you go. Delirious is kind of splitting up the tanks a bit. The Panther's far up north here as the Pershing and the Jackson trying to center here. Leeson's almost wiped out. Panther half health. Vetson's one of the Jackson tank destroyer here. And there you go. Delirious splitting up his armor further here. A Kedmev landing good, hitting the Jackson tank destroyer. Ralph squad moving in here. A Kedmev routed. Panther then pulling towards the rest here. We do have the repair pioneers up. Thumbs up to Delirious. Definitely a bit of a sticky spot he's in some regards. Of course, he still holds advantages. Now he's moving in again. Parts of his armored force towards the center here against VonIvan. And there you go. Combined arms again. I mean, good golly. This is probably like the most times combined arms have been used in a match in like forever. Pershing almost done. There you go. Not Pershing, but the Panther's down. Knocked out here. There you go. Panther one flanking. Taking out the Jackson tanks, though, just too late. Again, Delirious kind of mismanaged that, allowing, again, VonIvan just deal with the Panther, like, easily without any support there. That was a grievous tactical error there, but Delirious, he still has 3 Panther 4s now versus just a Pershing, but again, the Panzer IVs are kind of all over the places. So right now, again, like here, VonIvan enjoys a strong tactical advantage. So like Delirious definitely needs to be a bit more mindful. And there you go. Again, combined arms just further enhances this. Just wore off here, fortunately, for Delirious. But again, he's just kind of like engaging the Pershing one-on-one with his Panzer IVs, which is just great for VonIvan, but pretty suboptimal for Delirious' Panzer IVs. North point being suspect of VonIvan. He could do with perhaps some more infantry, but I would expect another Jackson first or maybe a bunch of Shermans. As for Delirious, well, he needs more armor. He would also benefit from a bit more infantry. But I'm expecting Delirious to try another Panther versus VonIvan. As for VonIvan, again, another Jackson, maybe a Sherman. We'll have to see. And I guess just more combined arms. Bazooka team, though, being obliterated by the Panther IVs. And there we go. Scores another kill there on another Panther IV. Quite a slip there by Delirious. Of course, he could be stalling for the King Tiger now, but this could, of course, just further augment VonIvan's advantage. Because, again, that just means, like, again, if he keeps messing up the Panther IVs like he kind of is, he can just further close the gap numerically. And just that way, perhaps by the time then he gets the King Tiger out, VonIvan might be the one with the number advantage. Plus, at this point, Delirious has lost all of his infantry. Delirious, I feel like, is really starting to drop the ball a bit here. Perhaps it's frustration, perhaps it's arrogance, perhaps it's just a severe series of miscalculations, but yeah, he's cancelling the... If he was going for a King Tiger, that plan has been cancelled. He's going for a Panther, and he's going for more Obersoldaten. But again, in many ways, VonIvan is starting to, I think, steadily seize strategic initiative as Delirious was just kind of through some questionable tactics here, rather giving VonIvan the edge here. I mean, this Pershing at this point is just going to town here on Delirious. 18 kills, veterinary fleet, ace level, good rate of fire, accuracy, can chuck grenades as well and just, you know, fire the HVAP rounds as well. And Delirious at this point is like next one from left. He does have a fair amount of armor, but those aren't ace Pershings, are they? 333 versus 59 here. Another Jackson out here. Panther is almost done here for Delirious and for Deutschland. Got the Obersoldaten now. Of course, when they need the Panther. The Panther's out now. I get the Obersoldaten. So we'll have to see here what Delirious does next versus VonIvan. But he definitely needs infantry, in part because he needs to clear out the infantry supporting the Pershing, because otherwise VonIvan's going to pop combined arms, at which point, as I'm sure you can figure out, things are going to hurt for Delirious' tanks, because the Pershing, at ace level, with combined arms, is a real nightmare. Never mind the Jackson, we've got Morbs on there for Delirious. Very good, but again, kind of late to the party. In the south here, upon being grabbed here by the Rifle Squad. Phantom Wing and then catching the Rifle Squad, of course, a Ranger Squad out in the open. Veterinary 4. Very good Phantom for purposes. Second Phantom Wing up here, further bombardment of the Ranger. VonIvan not really responding to this. He's definitely starting to coordinate his tanks a bit better again here versus VonIvan. Finding position there being upgraded. Going to help cover the center. There you go. Good shot on the Jackson. Phantom Wing up here. I think the smart idea for now would be to try and, if you can't take out the Jackson, the best move, because it is the least, well, the one with least health and, you know, least armor, so it's more easy to be taken out here. And there you go, combined arms again. At this point, I think Delirious just should disengage here before, again, VonIvan just completely wrecks his armor there. There you go, almost lost the Panther force here. The Panther has also seen quite an intense amount of damage. Meanwhile, while the Jackson almost got knocked out, the Pershing is in a pretty good spot. There you go, being hauled back for repairs. Orbison basically there with the Rangers in the center, light machine away there, not bad. Others being reinforced. And he still needs more infantry, truth be told. Panther Force being fed southwards. We've got all three to point to the hands of VonIvan, Freedom and Democracy. And there you go. Delirious almost extended to Rifle Grenade. There you go. Will be hit by one there. This is really bad news for Delirious. Great for VonIvan. He could possibly dub in after the Panther Force, take it out here with the Pershing. In fact, the Panther's also now isolated. This is just looking really, really bad for Delirious. I mean, to a degree, he's probably just not used to a player using combined arms, because the average American player just doesn't use combined arms. I mean, truth be told, of like any faction accident ability like this, they probably wouldn't use it either. But, you know, I mean, we got just just good infantry assault abilities, and they barely seem to use it despite being quite good. And combined arms is like, you know, in a sense, even better than those, and it just doesn't see usage either. Like, the only time it's so serious use is when it's like bugged and busted. So yeah. Fun fact there. So again, a part of me suspects that Lewis just isn't used to having to handle this because, again, most American players never do. It's a really good ability. Ground the southern point here with the orbital garden. Panzer IV still being fixed up here. Need the remaining one to get good to go as well. More Jackson, of course, for now is going to be an issue there for Delirious' armor as well. He can, of course, also maybe consider some mines here with his remaining rifle squad. I mean, that helps slow down Delirious' assaults better as well. Rangers caught by the orbital garden. Panther IV good to go. You could soon go for another one, but you might be better off with the Jagdpanzer here to help deal with the Jackson and the Pershing from a slightly safer distance. We'll, of course, have to see what Delirious does, but yeah, he's really like just had the entire match just turn against him here. Just with consistent use of combined arms. There we go, we do get the Jagdpanzer IV here for Delirious. In the south, you ignore the deep flank from VonIvan. Thumbs up, though it might have been spotted. We can see the Delirious Marine forces to deal with that. Eventually, Panzer IV backed up, but Turbozon squad is definitely bad news for VonIvan's infantry there, make no mistake. Very bad news. We got that Panzer IV near east level. Jagdpanzer is halfway done. We got 207 versus 59. Now the Jackson ready there, and we got another flank position here. VonIvan is just digging in hard here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Around the center too. In a way, it feels like he's trying to just beat Delirious to attacking into him and just hope he makes another mistake here. Grenade off there. Ranger squad about to get wiped out. They'll be blow there to VonIvan to lose that one, but narrowly escapes with it. So there you go. Jagdpanzer out. Delirious wants to be able to build up his numbers again, but can he exploit them properly here versus VonIvan? Can he utilize them? Can he push them with attack here? That turns the tide once more in favor of Deutschland. We'll have to see. And the far southern point here.
Our supply line is cut. Germans are making a
Very quiet here. I mean, VonIvan's clearly again in no rush. Like, he's got 59 points left, so obviously he needs to be ready. He's going to make an attack. Like, a mistake he could cost VonIvan the match. And he's clearly aware of it, so he's not feeling particularly rushed. And he's got a pretty decent defensive position by now here. And he's also done like heavy damage to Delirious as well, so he's probably hoping Delirious just kind of keeps making the same mistake he's done, like, you know, in several of his previous armored engagement, which is just like splits up his tanks to easily allowing VonIvan just to crush them.
We just lost a unit.
Got a wipe with the orbital moving up the flank here. Of course, he's probably not ready for the fighting position. They've got Rangers moving to the orbital here, being ripped apart. Grenades out for VonIvan. Wow, that's for like just one rifle squad at this point. He went for grenades. It does appear like that Delirious going to try and launch like an attack from several sides, which can be powerful if you can coordinate it all and sort of have them hit the right place at the same time, but he missed this up. There, it's going to hurt him there. Go Panzer IV heavily damaged, and there you go, combined arms again. And as you can sort of see again, the issue is like, you know, it requires strong coordination and everything to like hit at the same time. The problem was it just kind of popped only parts of it. Other units meanwhile just kind of did nothing, and now like we can see VonIvan is just unleashing hell here upon the units that are part of the attack, or at least in the vicinity. Now the Jagdpanzer getting blasted here by the Jacksons and the Pershing, all boosted by combined arms. The Jagdpanzer, there you go. Panzer IV flanking in there, but the Jagdpanzer goes down. Panther flying back here. No heat shield, he doesn't have munitions. Panzer IV near east flanking in there. Looking really rubbish, though, going for that Pershing. Bazooka range here firing at the mechanized regiment here. Panzer IV forced to back off in the face here of VonIvan's Pershing heavy tank and Jackson tank destroyer. I mean, he did get one Jackson, but came at a rather high cost, and Orbital squad got wiped out, dropped the light machine gun, and he lost a Panzer IV.
Armour here.
And he didn't even gain any ground either, so that was definitely extra painful there. We got the Panther being repaired up. Panzer IV, of course, needed repairs. In fact, all of his Panzer IVs I need repairs. He was using munitions for emergency repairs instead of setting up for heat shells, which again, he probably needs to like just kill that Pershing faster. And once more, the steward crew's just fixing up the Pershing tank. 157 versus 59. Like, VonIvan is just controlling this match incredibly well here versus Delirious at this point. So there is, I think, just is probably to a degree out of his element there. Again, just combined arms is, I imagine, really messing with his calculations here versus VonIvan. Got the Rangers pushing forwards here, right into the Obersoldaten. Panther counter-attack here. We've got a blend cover there to mess with the Rangers. Not a bad idea here at all by Delirious. We've got a grenade return on the Obersoldaten, killing Otto. Panzer IV's moving in here up north. The Panzer IV goes for another deep flank here. Looks like the VonIvan does not respond with his armor and tries to crash the Panzer IV. Fortunately for Delirious. We got 7269. We got 131 versus 59.
Armor ready.
Now the Jackson there for VonIvan. Grab this on the victory point again. East Panzer IV here near East Panzer IV there. What will Delirious go for next? Now the Jagdpanzer, another Panzer IV. Will he attempt another Panther? He goes for another Jagdpanzer. Perhaps you can make a bit more use of this one than compared to the previous one. As the first one did not exactly have a great time of it. This is definitely much more slower now here compared to like the early, like, you know, 20 to 30 minutes of the match here. Once VonIvan started popping those combined arms alongside the Pershing, Delirious really just lost a lot of momentum and initiative. And he's clearly been struggling, I think, to figure out a way how to deal with VonIvan. Interesting enough, VonIvan has really not been mining, though. As I think one benefit here from Delirious. There you go, combined arms again. Shoot, bounces off the Panther for once. Now the Jackson ready. Jagdpanzer almost done there for Delirious. And the Deutschland. 111 versus 59. Now the deep flank here by VonIvan. On this on the victory point once more. And there you go. Second Jagdpanzer ready here for Delirious.
Armor here.
108 versus 59. Armor just remaining very hesitant up north here. Obviously they're being snapped at by the Pershing. In the south again, victory point. One for hands of the Americans up north here. Delirious launching an attack here with the Panzer IV backed up with the Others in the 5th Cavalry. There's pretty much some on the Obersoldaten. We got smoke being deployed somewhere. Not entirely sure where. Oh, it's in the south here to help cover the Rangers. Smart. North here, the 5th Cavalry almost taken up with the Panzer IV. Interesting enough, we're not seeing a response here by VonIvan to this in the north though. Perhaps he's continuing response. He could be flanked here by Delirious elsewhere. Nope, he does get a response for now. Panther opening up within Jackson. Panther IV crawls opening up here. Jagdpanzer needs to get in there. Schnell. Easily on the Panther IV. Heat shells on the Panther. A lot of shots penetrating there. Almost got the Jackson with the Panther IV backed off. Too fast to can't assist the Panther. And again, this is sort of where the issue is for like Delirious splits up his forces too easily. Even on the tactical levels. Like even theoretically within range of each other. He managed to get them beyond the assisting range. If you got the Jagdpanzer flanking now here, she'll pop heat shells. And again, like he just splits up his forces. I think way too naturally here versus VonIvan, whereas VonIvan just keeps them together. Even like the damage, she doesn't like put them in such a way they cannot provide a supporting fire for each other here. I think is an important distinction between these two players and their armored engagements. Like Delirious is just way too quick to split up the stuff, whereas VonIvan does a better job keeping them working together there. So you just gain like tactical advantages through numerical superiority, whereas again Delirious just doesn't. Almost got the Panther IV ace there. 73 versus 59. Most of his armor is heavily damaged. He's lost another Panzer IV. More reasons here for VonIvan. He could probably get away with charging in the Pershing and knocking out some of Delirious' stuff here. Go, emergency repairs on the Panther, plus a Sturmpioneer assisting.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Another reaction squad up for VonIvan. Jackson's being fixed up.
Send your orders.
Another attempt to hit the southern victory point with the Ranger squad there. We got 58 versus 59. VonIvan now has the lead over Delirious here. Obersoldaten sting northwards here. Panther Kampfwagen 4 almost ready there. Emergency repairs and repair pioneers. He wants that. Panther good to go. Schnell.
Germans have 50 points.
Straight into the Pershing here. Assaults are not unsurprising. There we go. Pershing is getting hit by both Jagdpanzer and Panther now. More fighting positions here from VonIvan. Going for that Pershing. Almost got. We got the Jacksons ready as well here. Punching large holes into the Panther's frontal armor. Yak Panther Bounty meanwhile, close to Victory 2 though. Panther 4 there, good to go. But his Panther is already almost knocked out in the south here. The Orbs are lost to the Rangers. Really bad spot to be in for Delirious right now. Need to do something. Got more Orbs done. We got smoke here from VonIvan. In the south again here. Sneaky VonIvan, though he may want to move them a bit about there so they aren't as easily just shot at. $32 versus 59. 33 kills. Might get the Rangers what, but even then, like, Delirious just running out of victory points now versus VonIvan. He's just running out there, and he seems to be completely just blanked out here versus VonIvan at this point. He might just be able to take out the Ranger squad, but he's just at the point. Wait, well, it's not really going to matter though. Pershing's Jackson the move here against VonIvan. Oh, Delirious Southern Forces here. Yak Panther being the first victim here, down a half health here. In fact, down to less than a half health. Betting 2 getting the Yak Panther shot bounced. Fortunate there for Delirious. But ran out of luck. There we got the Ace Panther 4. Now was the Jackson. There you go. Combine arms activated again here, though. No Infinity about to take advantage. And there you go. No command points left. And with that, Delirious loses. Or victory points left. GG, game over. He lost here for Delirious, a victory for now. A fierce fight here with a lot of back and forth action. I think also just a really good highlight of the power of combined arms when used correctly, but also the importance of like working your tanks together more like a proper unit. The problem kind of with Delirious was at times he just like, you know, split up his tanks in such a manner that like theoretically they were sort of in the same vicinity, but none of them were within range like target the same unit, whereas VonIvan always ensured that. And I think that ensured tactically VonIvan always had the advantage in when he was like technically outgunned on a strategic level. Delirious just wasn't able to turn into a tactical advantage. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. You learned something from it. Hope it gives you some matches. If it did, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't hurt enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again for the next episode. Bye.